I'm Rantasmo, and Buffy needs more gay. Cats love tuna, bears love honey, and gay guys love Buffy the Vampire Slayer. We f***ing love it. And why wouldn't we? Buffy's a strong female character who battles evil while wearing the apex of quirky late 90s fashions. She's kind of the ultimate fag hag. A hip, trendy girl who isn't too cool to hang out with the nerdy outcasts and protect them from bullies with her magical kung fu. Buffy was amazing because it took place in a dystopia that we wanted to live in. It was a place where one of your classmates died pretty much every day. But who didn't want to hang out at the Bronze or learn magic with Willow? It was also a pretty groundbreaking show in its inclusion of lesbian characters, especially considering the time it was produced and the audience it was targeted to. For a lot of young people, the relationship between Willow and Tara was their first indication that being gay was an okay thing to be. And also, Andrew was there. But even though Buffy as a television show is more or less perfect, it's actually sort of not perfect. The treatment of Willow is kind of a textbook example of something called bisexual erasure. I'm not talking about the band. That's gay erasure. Very gay erasure. This is something I've already touched on in my video about chasing Amy and Geely. But essentially, bisexual erasure is ignoring or dismissing the fact that bisexuality exists. People do this for any number of reasons, but what it usually comes down to is the fact that simple dichotomies are a lot easier for people to handle. It's easier to think in black and white terms, like good and bad or straight and gay. But the truth is that things don't always fall into easily definable categories. And sometimes it's easier to just pretend that those things aren't there, both in the way that we treat people and in the media that we create. So here's the problem with Willow. Up until she meets Tara, Willow is pretty explicitly shown to be romantically attracted to men. Her relationship with Oz in particular is one of the most positive and deep relationships in the series. We never get the sense that Willow's heterosexual attraction is disingenuous, and she admits that she still has feelings for Oz even after she starts dating Tara. I know it wasn't too long ago that I talked about the limitations of labels, and how it's possible for someone who identifies as gay to still be attracted to someone of the opposite sex. But this is yet another example where bisexuality is never even brought up as a possibility. I don't see Willow as an example of the complex and nuanced nature of sexual identity. I see her as an example of the writers not really understanding how sexuality works, or possibly what words mean. I actually sort of admire the fact that they focused more on Willow's actual human relationships rather than identity politics or the turmoil of coming out. But they still went out of their way to use the G word.
Well, hello, gay now.
Willow was canonically attracted to men for over 3 seasons, and all it took was one sexy witch lady for her to completely switch teams. As much as I love Tara, I just don't buy that. I could buy Willow being bisexual. I could even buy her being a lesbian if the writers went in with that intention from the very beginning, but it seems pretty obvious that they didn't. Weirdly enough, you could technically make the same criticism about Ellen's sitcom, but I can forgive real-world events for interfering with Ellen's rich mythological canon. And none of this is to say that Buffy the Vampire Slayer is not a precious paragon of human achievement that we must all treasure to the end of time. But now that Joss Whedon is back to doing television, I'm hoping that we can look forward to a same-sex romance with a tinge of the supernatural that also reflects the reality of sexual identity. I guess what I'm really trying to say is Thor and Captain America OTP. Yeah.